Hello again, Unky Tonks. Now, people have asked me why I haven't done this video sooner. Well, one reason, never make a video when you're angry and emotional. There are YouTubers who do that, angry and emotional videos. Uh, that's their niche, all right? My niche is politics and give my opinion on social issues, but there are people out there, I'll put a price on your head and stuff like that. Go and watch them, all right? That's them, that's me, so there we go. I'm cool, calm, collected. I can tell you exactly what happened on the day. But before I get into that, I need to tell you a few things for context. Now, it was never my intention to turn up at this conference and cause trouble, incite violence, hatred, make people feel uncomfortable. I wasn't going there to confront anyone, cause a scene, cause a fracas, get myself chucked out. Imagine driving all the way there to get yourself chucked out. What a waste of time. There are people who do that as well. I don't understand that, but there we go. If you know me, you know I don't like causing a scene. Despite being a YouTuber, I don't like being the centre of attention. I never have. I am quiet and reserved. I keep myself to myself. I've walked past friends on the high street, friends and families before on the high street, and that's at my own arse when I'm walking. And so, not with it. Anyway, so there we go. It wasn't my intention to do that. And the fact what happened, I feel really embarrassed about. I really do. Anyway, secondly, I'm not taking anyone to court. I'm not taking legal action. It was a favour to get in there. And besides, it was private land. If Reform wanted me out, I'd had to leave. It is that simple. So it was their rules. What could I do? And thirdly, nobody ever put their hands on me. I wasn't manhandled, roughed up, bent up like a deck chair, restrained, goosenecked, or unceremoniously thrown out like a cowboy out of a saloon in those old Western movies. That didn't happen. I wasn't like, it didn't happen. So there we go. That's that out of the way. The way it happened was just really weird, and anyway, I'm sure you'll get the gist of it as the video goes on. Now, I'd spent the day in Birmingham with Clown World shooting footage for his videos. By the way, you can see his video in the community section of my channel where he gives his version of events. I did a cracking political interview with him along the canal. I need to edit that and that'll be out this week. It's a pretty long video, but it's really interesting. I hope you'll enjoy it. And trouble started early on that day. Now, we turned up mid-morning to recce or reconnaissance, stake out the utility arena, find out where it was, figure out where the front entrance was, where we were going to do the live streams and film, etc. Now, while we were doing this, we were approached by a security goon, and this guy was the definition of paying peanuts to get monkeys. I doubt he could spell IQ, let alone have one. And he was accompanied by a little fella who was not dressed in security garb. And he asked us who we are, what we were doing. And I said, we're just YouTubers, we're here to film, do what we do, etc. Can you tell us where the front entrance is? Oh, I can't tell you anything about the Reform Party conference, he says. What is the Reform Party conference here, I said. I can't tell you anything about the Reform Party conference, I don't know. That's what I mean by peanuts for monkeys. I then asked him, where's the front entrance? And he says, I can't tell you for security reasons. I thought, God's sakes, all right. Luckily, the guy next to him had a bit more about him and said, lads, the front entrance is round that way, it's quicker, so you can do your thing. Thank you very much, we were on our way, and that's it. He asked us if we were auditors as well, so no, we're not here to cause trouble. We're just here to film and leave, and that's it. We've got tickets for the event, so there we go. Anyway, we made our way to the front entrance, where as we were filming our own different bits, I got approached again by security asking me who I was, why I was filming, etc. I explained, and that was that. So when we finished filming, Clownwell told me, look, they're filming us. And I looked around, there were 4 or 5 guys in suits. And indeed, they were filming and taking photos. Make of that what you will. So back into Birmingham we went, had a bite to eat, went to our respective cars in the car parks to dump our stuff and make our way to the arena. It was like 4 o'clock now. Of course, me being me, I forgot my berry and my selfie stick. It's what I do, folks. I'm very forgetful. Now, my intention when we got there was to film or live stream the queue so I could ask people questions if they wanted to be on camera, whether they were for reform, against, give their reasons, and it gave my platform for them to give, have their freedom of speech. But alas, the queue was like 2 minutes long. I didn't have the time, and it would have been pointless anyway. So we got into the entrance rather quickly. I was searched. I waited for Clown World to be searched, and they told him you can't bring your vlogging camera with you, despite the fact that people in the foyer were filming, taking photos, and filming people taking photos with Richard Tice and Lee Anderson. So make of that what you will. He had to take his camera back. The car was half an hour away. So I told him, I'll wait in the foyer for you so I can vouch for you. He buggers off. I'm then called back to get searched again. So back I go through the machine. I get the old patted down, the old wand. And that was that. I said, why am I being searched again? Because, he said. All right, okay. Good enough reason, I guess. So I'm stood in the foyer and I'm thinking, what do I do now? I'll wait here. So Clown World is going to be a while. I'll just have a look around, see what's going on. So I'm walking around and I notice I'm being followed around by some goons, these suited and booted security goons. Now, I'm an ex-squaddy prison officer. I know when I'm being followed. I know when something's going to happen. I can feel it. I can see it. The signs are all there. I'm not stupid. And they're eyeballing me. So I'm thinking, oh, God. So I walk around and I do what I do when I think I'm being followed. I stop at anything that's reflective and have a look behind me. Make it look I'm not looking, but I am looking. And when I stop, they stop. When I walk, they walk. They're not close, but they're close enough. Combat indicator. My hackles are up. I'm ready. I'm not going to cause a scene. If I can, I'm going to try and talk them out of manhandling me, because if they manhandle me out the door, then it's hard to explain that I'm not there to cause trouble. And people are going to film anyway, and it'll be quite embarrassing for me. So then I'm approached by someone who's not dressed as security, asking me who I am, what am I doing, etc. And I'm just here to enjoy the conference and maybe film around later on. Oh, I'm not sure you're allowed to film, this guy says. Oh, okay. So I'm walking around a bit more and I bump into people who recognise me. There's 2 or 3 couples who recognise me. I have a nice, really friendly chat with them, which was really, really nice and encouraging. And, it's people like that that make me want to be a YouTuber and continue doing what I do. You encourage me, you support me. So it's all good. It's all gravy. And I'm still being followed. And one of them says to me, there's guys there eyeballing you. Yeah, I know, they're following me. So get your camera out. I might get chucked out in a minute. Who knows? Anyway, so I'm carrying on. I get myself a Pepsi, £4.50 for a Pepsi. So that's £34.50 now I've wasted on reform. £5 to get in there. £25 subscription. I got a sticker and a letter for that, by the way. And I'm going to point out again, your £25 got you nothing. You didn't get a say in party policy, who the leader was or who the chairman was. All that decision was made behind closed doors by Nigel Farage and Zia Youssef. And by the way, Zia Youssef wasn't there. Also absent was anything outside the arena to tell anyone that the conference was there. Even though we all knew by word of mouth and social media that the Reform conference was happening there was nothing there. No banners, no Reform logos, not even a Union flag, a British flag. So much for being a patriotic party. But then again, I guess they spent all that subscribers' money on that tractor to wheel in Nigel Farage for his speech. I mean, a tractor, why? And that Reform Party will fix it. Jim will fix it, sorry. That was just really poor marketing, if you ask me. Whoever decided that needs to be sacked. It was really bad image. So there I am walking around. I'm closer to the foyer now when I'm seeing people still talking to Richard Tice and Lee Anderson. They're videoing, they're taking photos. I'm thinking, okay, I'm clear. So I'll start making a video then. This happens. Right, so I'm in the arena. Behind me you'll see, or you won't see him now, but Richard Tice and Lee Anderson are having their photos taken with people, etc.
Okay.
You alright?
I was just going to have a chat with you.
Yeah.
I was just wondering what it is you're filming.
I'm a YouTuber.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, what you film?
Politics.
Politics, yeah.
Can I see?
Yeah, got it.
As you can see, I had to turn the camera or the video off to show him my YouTube channel and verify who I am. I was prepared to get my wallet out, show him my driver's license, ID, just to confirm who I am. When he says, well, you're not really allowed to film here, it's private land. And I say to him, well, look, all these people are filming and they're taking photos. At that point, a little fella behind him says, that's him. And then the security guard says to me, oh, you're going to have to leave, I'm sorry. I say, I'll stop filming. I don't want any trouble. If you want me to not film, I'll not film now. You're going to have to leave, mate. He was nice about it. He was quite civil. I said, all right, okay. The goons are still there. They're watching me. So I make my way to the front entrance and I'm hovering around the front entrance thinking, shit, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Am I going to get jumped? Am I going to get manhandled or what? Are they going to throw me out by my collar? I don't want that. So there's no sign of clown world. I'm thinking, shit, I'm going to have to leave. With that, I see the little fellows behind me still. He's shadowing me. So I get to the front entrance. The guy there who does the searches says, if you leave now, you're not coming back. I said, fine. I'm not feeling well anyway. Just let me out. And then the little fella behind me says, he's not coming back anyway. And I said, this is really sickening. So out I went. And that's that. I can see Clownworld down the bottom of the steps getting his ID verified. He seems to be getting trouble getting in. So I say to him, listen, I've been chucked out effectively. And he's a bit shocked. He says, well, do you mind if I go in and just have a bit of footage for my channel? Yeah, I'll wait for you here. So he goes in, he manages to get in, has some footage with his smartphone, and the same thing happened to him. They followed him, they shadowed him. Everywhere he went, they went. When he stopped, they stopped. So he comes out, then I do my live stream, which you can see on my channel, with the Remainer goons. And one thing I didn't film or catch on camera, one of them was dressed like a proper communist. He had a black beret with a red star on it. He had a pink camouflage jacket on, black combat trousers and big Dr. Martens. These people exist. How come you can walk around like a communist but not like a Nazi? I'm not saying either are bad, good, but they're as bad as each other, except the communists murdered more, including their own. So one ideology is accepted, I guess, by the woke establishment. The other isn't. I wonder why. And by the way, I'm not saying that Nazism should be accepted. It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. But still, it's just crazy the way the establishment and society works. But at the end of the day, I got some good footage of the protest outside. I got to tell Femi to get over Brexit. Never thought I'd see him there. Can you imagine? He was too busy to talk to me and he just stood by a lamppost then. He was more keen to stand by a lamppost and frown at the security and people walk into the Reform conference than talk to me. Anyway, yes, what happened, it was embarrassing. I was under no illusion that I was not welcome at the Reform Party conference. That guy told the security fella, that's him. Did you know who I was? Should Reform treat critics like this? It is obvious they don't like critics and people who speak out against the party and Nigel Farage. And it's not a party I can get behind. Why the hell should I give my vote and reward failure? Reform is a failure of a party. Farage was on LBC the other morning talking to Nick Ferrari saying he's all for net zero migration. He is happy with accepting more Syrian refugees to replace the people who are emigrating. It's net zero migration. So, when it comes to power, anyone illegal migrants or criminal migrants will be deported, so he says. But the people here at the moment who are illegal migrants, foreign criminals, people here taking the piss, he won't deport these people. Why not? And that's what people want. Like I said, Reform is a net zero government. If they get into government, you get the same. They're no different now from Labour or the Tories, in my opinion. They haven't smashed the uni party wheel. They're part of that wheel now. There's no difference, in my opinion. Prove me wrong. And there we go. That's my experience at the Reform Party conference. I wasn't chucked out physically. I was asked to leave. And that's good enough for me to tell me where I stand and other people like me. And that's that. I'm past 49. Thanks for watching. And until the next time, Roger Trout.